Well, hey, folks, I'm meteorologist Matt Barentine. Obviously, we are still tracking Debbie. Unfortunately, it's back out over the open waters of the Atlantic and actually over what we call the Gulf Stream out there. And that Gulf Stream along the east coast of the U.S. has water in it that's like 90 degrees or so. So, I mean, it's going to help it to regenerate itself out there today. So it is rather unfortunate. And we are seeing, the rain really getting wrapped in around this, a lot of heavy rain. And that's going to be the case today because, like I said, this thing is kind of regenerating itself. It'll likely get a little bit stronger. The main thing, though, is that it'll just create more rainfall as it works its way back again towards the South Carolina coastline and dump more rain for those poor folks. They've already had to deal with quite a bit, and they will be dealing with more. Winds of 45 miles an hour. It'll likely get a little bit of strength, but I don't think it'll get too strong before it makes that second landfall again in South Carolina. The movement is really the key thing, moving to the northeast at 4. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds an awful lot like Sally, just barely moving along. And when a storm barely moves along, it can dump a lot of rain. It's already dumped about a foot of rain in spots. They'll probably see another 8 to 10 inches in spots as well, parts of South Carolina and North Carolina. So it's going to be a mess over that way. And meanwhile, while it just sort of spins over there, doesn't move a whole lot, that's going to keep us in the same pattern as well. And that's going to be northerly winds, keeping our skies clear. And that's going to allow that August sunshine just to beat down on us and pick our temperatures well back up there again today. We have another heat advisory. I know at this point these things seem pretty redundant, right? But we have another heat advisory out there today, and we'll have more of these in the days to come. I guarantee it. We'll continue to see our heat index values 105 to 110 in the afternoons. Check out our forecast highs for today. It'll be near record highs. If Mobile hits 100, that would be a record. It's never a good thing to hit record highs in August, because August obviously is one of our hottest months as it is. And you can see those upper 90s, low 100s, maybe as high as 102 in spots. That's what's showing up for Leakesville and Pascagoula. Boy, that is just uncomfortable stuff. And you can see those temperatures, as we go from lunchtime into the afternoon, they go from the mid-90s to right around that triple-digit mark out there today. Look at the heat index numbers, around 107, 108 this afternoon. Now, the funny thing about the heat index, not really anything too far off of what's typically we see in early part of August. And like last week when we had highs in the mid-90s, we had very similar heat index values. So, the heat index is a factor of the heat, the temperature, plus the humidity. Last week we had temperatures in the mid-90s and we had high humidity, so that gave us high heat index values. This week we have high temperatures but lower humidity, and it's a wash. We still have high heat index values, and we'll continue to have high heat index values here through the rest of the week and on into the upcoming weekend. You want to cool off? You could head to the beach. You won't cool off though. Look at that. It's 96 degrees at Dauphin Island today. That is really warm down on the island. Hot, really hot, should I say, down on Dauphin Island today. Lots of sunshine. And the beach forecast calls for, the good news is low rip current risk next several days. The bad news is the water is about 90 degrees in the surf zone, which means it's basically like stepping into warm soup. So it doesn't really do much to cool you off. And it's going to be very warm all through the rest of the week, hot all through the rest of the week, and going right on into the upcoming weekend. All right, so let's check out your forecast here for the next week and a half. And yes, the temperatures will dial back by a couple degrees as we head towards the weekend, but the humidity dials up a little bit. So once again, the heat index values will essentially be a wash. They really won't change. It'll still feel just as hot regardless. Rain chances stay, none basically for the next several days, but then just slim Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think by the middle to end of next week, we'll start bringing back some, decent rain chances, scattered showers and thunderstorms, but that's 7-8 days away till we get there. So it's going to be a while. So if your yard is turning kind of brown and crispy, you're going to have to get out there and start doing the watering. Obviously, we are pretty hot, pretty dry as well. So, things are going to turn pretty crispy pretty quickly. Well, that is a hot forecast. Basically, we just got to kind of suffer through it here in August. We're going to continue to be very hot through at least the next week and a half. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream.